I put a video out, I don't know, sometime last year, I think. I was talking about a concept, a fellow, I was reiterating what he said. Talking about everything is a game. You're playing multiple games all the time. The game of life, the game of work, the game of marriage. And I made the point in that, people might take that wrong and think I'm saying something like, oh, life is a game, marriage is a game. Are you kidding? It's not a game. That's not what I mean or what I meant. What I was talking about in that video was games have rules, games have objectives, games have consequences, games have rewards, games have costs, all this stuff. If you don't know the rules of all the different games you're playing and somebody else does, you're at a disadvantage. And if you don't even know you're playing a game when somebody else does, you're at an extreme disadvantage. So I don't know if you remember that video or not, but if I can find it, I'll link to it, but don't count on it. I don't remember what I called it or when I put it up or even if it's still up. A couple of days ago, a guy that I follow, his name is Gurwinder, or at least that's what he goes by, Gurwinder. Anyway, he wrote an article, essay, whatever you want to call it, on Substack called Why Everything is Becoming a Game. It takes a little different course than that last kind of sentiment I was talking about. But if you keep in mind what I said earlier in this video about the previous video, and you read this article and you can kind of mix the two together, it might open up your eyes to some things that you didn't realize you didn't know about. It did me. But this article is talking about how things have been gamified, gamification, turned into games. And the things he's talking about are everyday, real world things that unless you are very careful, you're playing them all the time, and you probably don't even know it. And you probably play them, once you see this, you probably think I'm playing that unwillingly, yet you keep on playing them. It's a very interesting article. I'm going to link to it down in the description of this. It's probably, because I have trouble seeing on a screen, I listened to the article and it took me about 15 minutes, so it's probably about a 10 or 12 minute read if you read it. It's on Substack, but I think, I'm not sure you can read it without having to have Substack. Let me know, and if you can't get to it, I'll make it available somehow if I just come on here and read the whole thing out loud. But it's worth a read. It's worth a read, and it's worth thinking about. Now, he talks about in this article, he talks about the Unabomber, Ted Kaczynski. And when he starts talking about him, you might get the idea that he's supportive of what Kaczynski was about. But if you give him a chance, he brings it back around, and you'll find that's not the case at all. But just heads up, so you know how some people start hearing something and they think, oh, this is crazy. They turn off. But give it a chance if it's something you're interested in. This is stuff that we do day in and day out, every day, on our phone, in real life, at work, interactions throughout our life, in restaurants and businesses. It's all over the place, and it's worth looking into. It might just open your eyes to something, like I said. But anyway, it's down there. If you want to read it, I would suggest it. Enjoy it, don't, whatever. It's your dime.